Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Antie Joan and Auntie, providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hiya, Auntie Joni.
Hi, Auntie.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, just ducky, thanks.
You're welcome.
So, it's been cold.
Oh, my sweet, sweet Jesus.
You've had it colder than us up here in the hills.
I think so.
It's been crazy talk.
I took the bins, the compost and the trash bins, out to the curb Tuesday night. Now, I don't believe in coats, and I figure it's such a short trip. I don't need to put gloves on. But man, oh man, when I got back in the house, my little fingertips were like frozen. And it's not a long walk to the curb. So,
what, 25, 30 feet?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I had to make some of that delicious peppermint bark chocolate tea that you gave me. Wrap my whole frigid hands around that cup. And it was just so soothing and warming.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've been partaking in tea like I used to drink it when I was young. English breakfast tea, which is a black tea. English breakfast tea with, well, we used to have sugar, but maple syrup is what I put in it now. A little maple syrup. And then with a little bit of oat milk. I haven't had tea like doctored in so long. It's been so many years. And I was like, I just had a hankering for it. And damn it, if I haven't had it every single day since I started.
Really?
I love it. It still tastes as good as I remember. The only thing I'm missing is my mom used to do this. She used to make a cup of tea, that kind. Probably not as much sugar as I put in as a kid because she was never that much into the sugar stuff. But with the milk, you know, like the English folk do with the milk. And she would have a Portuguese roll with butter and eat that with her tea.
And what is a Portuguese roll?
So I'm going to bring some back. It's so funny because friends of mine that live up here over in the Netherlands area, they are from Connecticut as well. Every time they go back, they bring back a dozen or so of Portuguese rolls. And I never thought anything of, because honestly, I really haven't had one since I was a kid, because I copied my mother, of course. My mother had tea with Portuguese roll, then I would have tea with Portuguese roll. So I never thought about it. And then, of course, but then I started drinking this tea again. I was like, damn it, if I don't want a Portuguese roll. So they're kind of like ciabatta, only not a little bit more dense. And they have they come to a point almost. And they're so good. I even looked up how to make them. It's labor and it's a process. It's a process. It's not really labor and it's not super labor. It's over time. You got to let it rest and rest again and rest again. I'm like, blah. So when I go back to Connecticut next time, I'll bring back some and I'll give you a couple of them so you can try out a Portuguese roll. They're very, very tasty. It's so weird that bread out here isn't nearly what it is back east because of the altitude. So that kind of sucks a little bit.
Oh, I never noticed.
Yeah. It's
Hmm.
not great. I mean, it's good, but it's nothing like going back. And East Coast is nothing like Europe. So, I mean, like everybody's got their extra take on the bread. We just don't do it as well out here. But it's still good. Don't get me wrong. I still eat it, but it's not nearly as good as you can get it out east. But
I remember when I was in my 20s and working for IBM in White Plains, New York, there would be a coffee lady who would come around to the different areas on each floor. And she'd ring her little bell, and then people would line up and they'd get coffee, or she'd have sweet rolls or stuff. But there was also Kaiser rolls with butter. And oh my goodness.
Yep.
Wow, those were so good.
At one of the companies I worked for in Connecticut, my first full-time job was at a company called Market Data Retrieval, which is a branch of Dun & Bradstreet. Very small branch, folks. We always like to throw that in there because people have heard of Dun & Bradstreet. But we had a little cafeteria in our office, and they had bialys. I never had a bialy before, and those are some cross between like an English I don't know how else to describe it. It's kind of like a cross between an English muffin and a roll, but it's got like onion in the like a circle of onion wonderfulness in it. Unbelievably good. And even when I first started working there, I had never heard of it. And a woman that I worked with said, aren't you going to get a bialy? Because I think I was getting a bagel. She's like, oh, I prefer bialys. And I'm like, what the hell is a bialy? And then I had one. Oh, so good. I don't know if I've never seen them anywhere else, to be honest. I mean, I've seen them out on the East Coast, sure, but nowhere else have I seen those. Not in Europe, not out here. But yes, those are quite tasty.
Whole Foods used to have really good ciabatta rolls, years ago. And I don't know whoever used to make them. They don't contract through them anymore, I guess. But what I liked about them is you get this nice puffy roll, and then you cut into it, and there's all this hollow space. I like the hollow space. It's negative calories.
Sure it is.
And it's makes a nice cup to put in your butter.
Yes. The nooks and crannies like in English muffins. I did just download a recipe for blueberry English muffins that I may make at some point.
Ooh.
I can't even tell you how many recipes a day. It's ridiculous. I make a fraction of them. A small little fraction. I'm like, what are you doing? You need to calm down. But they look so good. I'm like, oh, I can make that. Oh, that's not too hard. I could do that.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of subcategories under food in my Pinterest board. So, yeah.
With all the cold weather, and I've been getting some snow up here. I actually had to break out the snowblower for the first time in a while yesterday in clear snow. It wasn't terrible. Really? It was actually it was a beautiful day. So it was because the snow had already fallen. So it was sunny, and spent a couple hours out there clearing the driveway and clearing the deck. I did it all back to back because I was just like, it's so nice out. I might as well just stay. And Killian came out onto the deck with me, and he got to play in the snow while I was trying to shovel it. It was nice, but that was the first time I've had to use a snowblower in a while. I don't think we're supposed to get more snow tonight, like we talked about. I don't know if I'll use a snowblower. We'll see how much I end up getting, because it's supposed to be unbelievably warm and sunny and spectacular for the next week. And I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome sauce.
One forecast, 65 degrees, I think, like on Wednesday.
It's insane. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited for that. I don't know. I need the sunshine to give me a little extra oomph. And when there's no sunshine, I just feel like, And I've got really comfortable couches now, so it's hard for me to get off my ass.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
And but with all this snow and stuff, I got bit by the travel bug again.
Oh, tell me about that.
I'll tell you what. So I've got like 3 things in the hopper that I'm working towards, possibly a 4th, because I'm just like, I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta do stuff. I gotta go. Things to see, people to see. I'm booked for a trip in October now. I'm excited. Visiting friends who purchased a home out in France. So I'm going to go visit them and check out their new digs. Working on with Auntie Bethy, another Christmas market extravaganza.
Oh.
And then just a couple local, meaning in the States, things, maybe in April and maybe again in June. We'll see. We'll see how we go. So all in talking, except for the France trip, that's booked. That's happening. And likely the Christmas market's going to happen. We just have to figure out the details of it.
Now, isn't it correctly pronounced France?
En français, s'il vous plaît.
The Christmas market stuff is getting to be a tradition now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've got an idea of what we want to do this year. We just have to finalize it all and make sure that we're both comfortable flying in and out of making this one place home base before we commit and book tickets and stuff like that. So I think this is going to be they're all fun. They're all fun.
Yeah.
So far, knock on wood, they've all been fun. Looking forward to getting something booked and something to look forward to. So We'll see how
Nice.
we go.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, good for you.
Exciting stuff.
Are you going to let me keep Mr. Killian?
If you want to.
Of course.
Oh, my goodness. He'll be so happy.
Yes.
He loves vacationing at Auntie Joan's house.
Oh, Auntie Joan loves having him here. And even Oscar doesn't mind him anymore.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
And a reminder to our listener that the PWR's 50 contest is underway. And we're looking forward to seeing all your submissions. Remember, you look at Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube for the details. We have promos out there. We talked about it quite a bit in detail in episode 50. So if you need a refresher, go back to episode 50 and listen to that again. We are looking forward to your submissions being sent to us by the deadline on Wednesday, March 12th by 11 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, with the winner to be announced on our 1-year anniversary special on Monday, March 17th, 2025. So good luck to all of you.
Good luck.
We're excited to see what you guys all put together.
Well, good luck, everyone. So let's get back to the show. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we discuss what we are watching. As you all know, just last week we celebrated our 50th episode.
We're 50.
Yes, we launched our PWR's 50 contest, and keeping with that tradition, we're going to go ahead and discuss Saturday Night Live's 50th year and all the wonderful specials that have been on over the past couple of months. There's 2 that were most recent, and then there's been a docuseries that they had been releasing out on the Peacock for a little bit now. So the first one is the docuseries. It's called SNL Beyond Saturday Night, which is a docuseries. They broke it down into 4 episodes. The first one is called 5 Minutes, and it's about the auditions of some of the key stars. And they rewatch their auditions, and it's very silly and fun, and they're very cringed by it. The second one is called More Cowbell, and of course, that's with my Will Ferrell. And Christopher Walken is a key star in that one. He was the guest star that made it all work and come together. And then the written by one was one I was the most intrigued by. The segment was called Written By, A Week Inside the Writer's Room. I had no idea what these poor writers go through on a weekly basis, and wowzers. That was very eye-opening for me. I really had no idea the breadth of the work that they were responsible for once a skit got chosen, and how long they could go without some of their skits getting chosen and things like that. So it was very, very interesting in my opinion. And then the last segment was called The Weird Year. I barely remembered it, to be honest with you, when they went back to it. I never knew Damon Wayans was ever on SNL until I saw this docuseries. Yeah. So I skipped that year too.
I did. I had no,
I didn't remember Robert Downey Jr. ever being on, or that other guy that was in 16 Candles and a bunch of other Breakfast Club. I forget his name. The nerd guy. He always played the nerd guy back in the day. He was on SNL for that season. I'm like, I had no idea of any of this.
I stopped watching it for a while.
Me too.
And that was one of the years I didn't watch.
Yeah. But I thought they did a really good job with the docuseries. I was glad they put that together. And like I said, for me, the most poignant one, although I love seeing my Will Ferrell in More Cowbell, which is, that skit is one of the best ever for me.
Yeah, it is.
For SNL. Yep. And the most interesting episode for me was the Written By, A Week Inside the Writer's Room, because I really had no idea. They basically are mini directors once their skit gets chosen, and they have to go meet with set design and basically bring their idea to fruition. There's people who build all that stuff, so they're not like building sets or anything like that, but they've got to go meet with them. They got to meet with wardrobe. They got to meet with makeup. They got to meet with hair. They've got to meet with the actor, whatever guest host is on that week, and make sure that they're comfortable with what they need to do and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just, the list goes on and on and on. And sometimes their skits don't get selected until as late as Friday, sometimes even Saturday morning. And they're scrambling to get all this done. And then we just get to see the end product that doesn't always look flawless, don't get me wrong, but shit, if they only have a couple of hours, they do an amazing job between the set design and all that stuff. So I found that one the most interesting for sure, for me.
With the set designs, I mean, they can go through and build a set and then have the whole skit pulled. And
Right.
all that work is just out the door.
That's
It's,
right.
incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when the whole John Belushi thing and you know how so many of the people from Saturday Night Live had gotten hooked on drugs and all that. And they attributed a lot of that to the schedule.
Yeah.
Because, like they said, Tuesday night, Wednesday, they're writing overnight. I mean, they're
Right.
in there writing all night long. And
That's right. Some don't get done until 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning is not unheard of.
yeah,
And this
yeah.
continues on. That's been the
week after week.
Yeah, it's been that way for 50 years. It's just insane.
Yeah.
You know.
So I can certainly understand how they get hooked on these drugs, but it's sad. But I don't know how else they could do it and still maintain the timeliness, stay current with what's happening.
Right.
In the news and stuff.
Well, they're a lot younger than we are too, so they got youth on their side. I pulled
that's true.
several
That's true.
all-nighters when I worked when I was young.
But I
couldn't do it now. Hells
well,
no.
I don't think I could have done it consistently like they did.
Not week over week. Mine were very few and far
yeah.
between. I'm probably a handful or less. No, about a handful. I would say probably 5 times I did all-nighters. But it wasn't for days in a row, and it certainly wasn't week over week.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they finish Saturday morning. They go to the after party, you know, after the show. They record at 11:30. They start at 11:30.
Yep.
And then they go to the after parties. And then Monday morning, they're back to work.
That's right. It was always funny to me to hear, because Seth talks about it every now and again on his show. That would be Seth Meyers. And he talks about how grueling it was and all that. And I just never had a true appreciation to what he was talking about. And because they always talk, you know, it's a week-long thing. It's like, yeah, it's a job. It should be a week-long thing. Like, I never understood where he was coming from until I saw this particular episode. And I was like, holy shit.
But then you
a
hear
lot.
about like interns and residents when they go into the hospitals, and they have like 48, 72-hour shifts.
Oh, for sure.
So
I
I
don't know
guess
if people can do that either.
Being young, I guess, makes a big difference.
It does.
But at least the doctors, it's a life or death situation sometimes.
Right.
And
I think they've backed off on that a little bit.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they
There's
have.
only so many hours they can work consecutively without at least taking some level of break.
Yeah. My favorite was the cowbell episode. I had no idea. I mean, that they could make an hour-long show about that one skit, but and it wasn't originally written for Christopher Walken. It was written for somebody else, and it didn't get on.
Yep. And then Will pitched it again when Christopher Walken was going to be on, and it all came busily to fruition, and it didn't play well in dress. And Will stepped up his game, put on clothes
He sure did.
Too tight, way too tight for him, and went crazy with his cowbell dance.
Use the space.
Yes, and gyrated and just hysterical. The whole thing was just so well done.
Oh, it was.
And it's still, people talk about it. Anytime I hear a cowbell, the first thing I say is more cowbell, you know?
And I got a fever.
That's right.
Yeah. And the only thing that'll help is more cowbell. Yeah. And then they showed Christopher Walken in what was supposed to be like the engineering room. And you could see him cracking up back in there. That was really funny. It's nice to have an inside look like that.
I agree. And it was funny because I thought it was a huge missed opportunity. We're going to get to this in a little bit. Was their homecoming concert at Radio City Music Hall, and a couple of acts used a cowbell. And I was like, Will should be playing that for them. He should have been up on that stage playing it for him.
He should have.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to the concert in a little bit. But I saw that. I was like, oh, come on, Will, you got to come out. You got to come out. You gotta. And he didn't. I was like, missed opportunity.
And they said he did it at one other rock concert somewhere. Was it? It wasn't.
Yes,
it was
he
another
did.
rocker. Yeah. He came out on stage and.
Yes, I can't remember which one it was either. I don't know
Maybe
if it was that. Was it that?
Maybe it was an SNL show that he did that on.
No, I don't think it was.
No.
No, I think it was actually in concert somewhere, but I don't remember who it was. I watched that a little while ago, so I don't remember. Yes, it was very, very good. And the 5 minutes one was cute. It was good to see, their little auditions and stuff like that. And the weird year, like I said, I just didn't know those people were ever on SNL. And
Yeah, me either.
Damon Wayans did just fine for himself, though, so.
And so did Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he kind of did.
And what's his name did okay, too. The one from The Breakfast Club.
Yes, he did fine.
The blonde kid.
Docuseries. So, folks, if you haven't seen the docuseries, it's all out on the Peacock. Worth a watch, I think. They are long episodes, though. I'm not going to lie. They're about an hour and a half each. Plan accordingly or take it out in chunks. I did not sit there and watch all 4 in one sitting. I watched it over days. I thought it was interesting to learn a little bit more about the actual inner workings of SNL.
Yeah, it was pretty good. They were pretty good.
And then on Valentine's Day, they had the homecoming concert at Radio City Music Hall, and that was for SNL's 50th. That was the ticket of the century, in my opinion. So many people performed. And when it first started, Miley Cyrus kicked it off, and which she's been on SNL so many times. It made sense to me that she kicked it off. She sang 2 songs. Then Eddie Vedder came out, and he sang 2 songs. I'm like, is every single act going to play 2 songs? Like, this is going to be so long. And it was 3 hours, right? 3 hours is what they broadcast.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what it was live, but broadcast to us, it was 3 hours. And I was just like, holy tamoles. And honestly, so many. And did you see it got the crowd going the most? Did you notice?
Cher?
Nope. Tell me why. The Backstreet Boys of all people.
Oh, yeah.
I was laughing so hard. I'm like, oh, Auntie Joan has to watch this. Of all people, the Backstreet, everybody was up dancing. People were singing along with the words. They even went up to Jerry Seinfeld and had him sing a little verse of it in the microphone. Hysterical. I was like, of all acts, it's freaking Backstreet Boys. Tell me why. Oh, I was laughing so hard.
I was surprised that they got so much people singing along, knowing all the lyrics.
I know. So was I. That's why I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for Auntie Joan to see this, because what an odd thing, I mean, my favorite of the night was the B-52s. I literally got up, danced, and sang along with them. I was so... Love Shack is one of my all-time favorite songs ever.
I love it too.
And when I saw them come on, I'm like, please play Love Shack, please play Love Shack. Yeah. And they did. It wasn't as great as it once was.
No.
But I didn't care. They got the crowd going. I was like, I literally yelled out, I'm like, oh my God, no, it's a party. And I got up and I danced and I sang and I was very happy. Killian was howling.
Good. Yeah, he did good.
He did good,
He sounded like his old self.
She did pretty good with Tin Roof. I was worried because she wasn't sounding so good up until that point. But I think maybe she was saving her voice for that particular moment, because that is a high and long note to hold. But I thought she did that well. The rest of it wasn't that great. And the other woman, she did fine, but not as good as they once were.
No.
And they only sang one song, which I was a little disappointed. I thought they were going to sing Rock Lobster after that because they brought out the lobster. And I was like, oh, good, now Rock Lobster. And then, nope. That was it. We only got...
Maybe they did, but they cut it.
Maybe. And I think Mumford & Sons, they always do a good job. I'm not a huge Mumford & Sons fan. I thought they did a nice job. And Cher, of course. She definitely got the crowd going for sure. But not as much as the Backstreet Boys. Who knew? And Lady Gaga was there. And
I couldn't help but notice some of the fellas in the audience, like John Hamm, and maybe Kevin Costner, they seemed pretty happy to see Cher up there.
Well, yeah. She still looks great.
Oh, she does.
She's wearing her next to nothing stuff as always.
And I checked that ass out.
Yeah?
Yeah, that looked pretty good.
I know. She looks great. She looks great. Can't begrudge that. And she sounded good. I thought she sounded good.
Oh, yeah, I do too. Her voice has aged better than like Paul Simon, who we'll get to later, and some others.
Paul Simon, yeah, he wasn't in the homecoming concert. A couple of bands sang Paul Simon or Simon and Garfunkel songs. Paul didn't make a appearance, but yeah, we'll get to him in a little bit. But my worst of the night, sorry to say, was Paul McCartney.
Oh, see, I didn't.
He sounded
too bad.
terrible.
No, I didn't think he was that
Just awful. I was very saddened by that. But I saw a clip, and I don't know when it was taken, to be honest with you, but apparently when he's going to stage, when he's walking to stage from his dressing room, him and his band sing the theme song from the Monkees to get ready. I saw a clip of that on Instagram or Facebook, I don't know what. And he sounded good in that, but he did not sound good on that stage. And I was very sad because I like him a lot.
I wonder if their sound system wasn't maybe a little off that night.
These are pretty old folk, though, too. So
I know.
And they've been singing a long time, and their throats are tired.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was good to see him, but I didn't think he performed well.
Now, Eddie Vedder, what band was he in?
Pearl Jam.
See, I was never a fan of them. I was.
I never wanted to see them in concert, but I was their first album, I was mostly enamored with.
Yeah, see, I was kind of a Motown kind of gal, and funkadelic people and stuff like that. But he was good. He was really good.
He's amazing. Yeah. He's matured very well.
Yeah.
And still can belt out everything. He seems like a nice guy. Like, you could hang out with Eddie Vedder. Like, I don't think he'd be one of those people who'd be like, careful meeting your idols.
Yeah.
I think he would just be Eddie Vedder. I think.
Although I couldn't help but think he must be on something because he had a whole lot of energy.
Oh, that's nothing compared to what he used to be like. He used to hang from rafters.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. No. I was actually thinking, wow, he's actually moving around more than I thought he was going to today, because he's pretty old. But back in the day, he used to climb up on the scaffolding around the stage and hang and swing from it.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, he had so much freaking energy back then. Like, it was incredible. And now that was very subdued, but he was still jumping around and doing all this stuff. So no, I don't think so. I think that's how he's aged.
Wow.
Yeah, because
if I could probably tap that a little bit.
I think he's young. He might be younger than I am. I don't know.
You want me to look it up?
Yeah, I don't remember. Well, it was the 90s. We might be the same age. Same age, or he might be a little younger, because it was like mid-90s when they really, early 90s, mid-90s is when they really hit it. Oh, maybe it's early 90s, because I had their album and it was very good. And I played it a lot. It
says he's 60 years old.
Oh, he's older than me. 60. Okay.
5'7" tall.
Yeah, he's okay. I didn't realize he was older than me.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that.
He's amazing. He's just amazing. If you could get tickets to that concert, they would have been thousands upon thousands of dollars, is all I can think of, because, man, it was quite the little smattering of different types of acts. I really enjoyed it.
The whole concert.
Yeah. The whole concert was just amazing. I don't really know Jelly Roll. Don't know if I need to see him again.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't do it. He sounded fine, but just not my cup of tea. I can't remember. There were so many good folks. Again, if you got some time, folks, this is out on the Peacock.
David Byrne.
Yes. One thing I didn't like,
yes,
going back to your Nepo babies,
yes,
is when his daughter sang, and he came out and sang with his daughter.
Who's his daughter?
I don't know, something Burns, but she came out in like the old Talking Heads big gray suit.
His daughter?
That was his daughter. Yes. So I was like, never heard of her before tonight. Has she ever been on SNL? It just seemed odd to me, because he had already sang and he came out again. And I was just like, I thought you would have jumped on this one. I was surprised for the Nepo baby thing.
No, because it said Robin, and I thought,
Robin Burns.
Well, but they didn't say Robin.
They did.
Byrne. They just said, Robin and David Byrne. And so I took it as that she's another one person like Cher or Madonna.
Nope.
Yeah, that's why I didn't take it as his daughter.
I mean, she sounded fine. I know I'm not begrudging her talent. It's just
Nepo babies.
See, I thought for sure you would have jumped on that one.
Well, now you know why I didn't.
Yeah. And I like David Byrnes. I like him more when he's talking than I do when he's performing personally. I find him just to be an interesting person, and his music is okay. I like some of the Talking Head stuff from back in the day, but
see, I was never into them either, but I do like him.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
That was good. So yes, it's 3+ hour, like a little over 3 hours, I think, is what was broadcast. So again, another carving of time you'll have to take out to watch it. And you can always fast forward through the acts you don't care about. But even those, like, I listened to all of them. There may
Yeah, I
have been
did
one
too.
that I was just like, meh, I don't need to listen to this. Devo, I was disappointed with the song they chose. That upset me. Or was that in the anniversary special? See, I'm getting them confused now because they had some musical acts in the anniversary special too.
No, I think they were in the concert.
They were in the concert, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Whip It is their most famous song. I was really surprised they didn't play that. But people seem to know the song they were playing. So I was like, oh, I guess it's just me that only was a one-hit wonder with Devo.
I guess you're not as cool as you thought you were,
I'm still pretty cool, though. I'm still pretty cool. But then 2 nights later, on Sunday, February 16th, they broadcast the 50th anniversary special. And that included skits. They were back in Studio 8G, and they were,
8H.
8H, sorry. HE was where the overflow people went. That's right. I thoroughly enjoyed most of the skits. I thought they were very funny. The musical acts, there were a couple that I really didn't care for that I think I fast forward through.
What did you think of Miley Cyrus's Flowers thing that she did?
So that is a
Grammy winning?
It was it wasn't her song. So that's not her song.
Oh, nothing
that's Sinead
compares
O'Connor
to you.
Right.
Yeah, nothing compares to you.
Sinead
Okay.
O'Connor. To me, if
okay.
she really wanted to pay tribute to Sinead O'Connor, she should have ripped up a picture of the Pope.
Oh,
as far as I'm
don't go
concerned.
there.
I was looking for it. I was hoping for it, but didn't happen.
I thought it was a terrible rendition of it. And
it was. I didn't
yeah.
like it. No, I didn't. I didn't appreciate it.
Her voice sounded strange, like she's trying to go different somehow.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I do like some of her music. I don't actively go out and listen to it, but there's the one about it's about the climb. It's not about the mountain, it's about the climb. Something like that. That's one of my favorite songs of hers. Couldn't tell you what the name of it is clearly, but when I hear it, I like it. Yeah, when I hear it, I like it. Yeah, and she opened the show again. Oh, no, she didn't. Sorry. That's where Paul Simon came into play. He opened the show, and I was shocked to see him because he was on Smartless, sometime last year. And he basically said he's not singing anymore because his voice, something has happened to his vocal cords. But not only did he perform at the opening act of Saturday Night Live, this 50th anniversary special, he's coming to the Paramount.
I was going to say, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And that shocked me more than anything. It was one thing to do the Saturday Night Live thing because I know he played so many times over the years. So him paying tribute to Lauren and SNL and all that. Okay, he gave it one last ditch effort to sing something on live TV. But to see that he's coming to the Paramount, I'm flabbergasted. I don't know who would buy that ticket. No offense, Paul. You're just, your voice isn't there anymore.
No, he sounded horrible. And sadly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. Because I really loved, my parents played Simon and Garfunkel all the time growing up. So I'm very versed in the Simon and Garfunkel tunes. And I enjoyed them. I mean, I hear them now. I like them. But Paul, eek. And who was he singing with? Who was that chick? I have no idea who that is.
Was that Sabrina Carpenter or something? She's somebody
heard of
the
her.
Youngsters would know. Yeah.
No idea who that is. I was like, I don't know who you are.
I don't either. I think she's been on once before.
Okay.
As their musical act.
But Ariana Grande didn't make an appearance, which I was surprised by.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand what happened there in either. I mean, she could have done the concert or she could have done the actual anniversary special. So I was surprised and disappointed, honestly, that we didn't get to see her.
Yeah.
But we did get to see Eddie Murphy. Damn it. I swear to God, he needs a new special. I need my Eddie Murphy comedy
I
fix.
think you're right.
I'm desperate for it. He was so good.
He was.
My favorite was the Black Jeopardy was 100% my favorite. He imitated Tracy. What is his name? Tracy Morgan perfectly.
Yeah.
Just perfectly. I'm like, you're awesome. I miss Eddie Murphy a lot.
I think there were a lot of comments out there about how good he did Eddie Murphy. I mean,
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan.
Yes. And I was so funny because Tracy was in the skit as well. Keenan's character, the host, basically was saying, you sound a lot, to Eddie Murphy's character. He's like, you sound an awful lot like Tracy Morgan. That Tracy Morgan was playing somebody else, and he said, "You guys kind of sound alike." And Tracy Morgan's like, "I don't hear it." And I was like, I thought that was good. I don't really love Tracy Morgan all that much, but he was good in that skit. And
yeah, he was.
Eddie Murphy stole the show, though. Hands down.
He did.
Amazing.
He did.
Just amazing.
Unless, you want to get into Tom Hanks not wanting to shake the host's hand, but that's, something else.
That did not go over well with the crowd. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice so much the crowd, but there's been quite a bit of jabber about it, on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, he did what they asked him to do in the skit.
I thought it was funny. Sorry.
I was just surprised that it didn't get more in the audience. I'm like, uh-oh. And they are talking about it online like he did something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, some.
Can't blame him. I mean, he did what it was on the cue card. SNL does not allow improvisation.
Oh, yeah, that was something else that I was surprised to find out.
They do not allow it. That's how Damon Wayans got fired back in the day from The Weird Year, because he went off script. Can't do it. You get clearly you get fired. I mean, he was literally walked off set and out the door as soon as he came off, as soon as the cameras were off. Yeah. Like there are no joke about that. There is no improvisation. You follow what's on the cue cards. I really liked, of course, Meryl Streep and
oh my gosh,
Kate McKinnon.
Yeah.
And I love that skit anyway. She's done it. Kate McKinnon's done it a million times. And it's one of my all-time favorites of hers, where she is kind of trailer park trash, for lack of better terms. And she
kind of hillbilly-ish.
And she gets abducted by aliens all the fucking time. And she always has the most disgusting encounters with them. Whereas the other people on the panel, so they're getting interviewed by NASA or whoever they're getting, I don't know, some government group. And the other people on the panel usually have, oh, it's this beautiful white light. And they were so gentle. And they just wanted to know what I was all about. And it was like almost like a big warm hug. And the Kate McKinnon's character like, yeah, it's a bit different for me. And then she goes into this probing of nastiness that happened to her, and she says it in the most hysterical way.
And she's smoking a cigarette. Her legs are wide. She's manscaping. Not manscaping.
Yes.
So
she's got her mom jeans on, and she looks ridiculous. And oh my God. My favorite one up until this one, because I do think this one has now taken the cake for me with Meryl Streep, and I forget the
Pedro Pascal was one of them, and here we go again.
I know. It begins with an H. Woody Harrelson was the other one. Okay, the one before this one that I loved the most was it was a regular skit on SNL one night, and it had Ryan Gosling on it, and he was on the panel. And of course, he had the nice experience, and Kate McKinnon's character had the probing experience. And she was groping Ryan Gosling, and he was cracking up. He was broke. There was no fixing him. He could not stop laughing. She turned him around. He was standing up. She turned him around, and she was holding his ass in both her hands and talking at the same. She didn't break at all, but Ryan was absolutely in hysterics. And I'm like, that's fantastic. This time, I thought she went even further. She was up in Woody Harrelson's crotch with her entire head. I'm like,
that was I think it was Pedro. She did that.
No, she went in between Woody Harrelson's legs, and his balls were resting on top of her head.
Oh my God!
I was dying. I'm like, how is Woody Harrelson keeping it together? Because she definitely groped Pedro as well, 100%.
Yes. Well, didn't she kind of flick him?
Yeah, she flicked his balls. Yeah, she did. She did. But then she got up close and personal with Woody Harrelson. I was like, OMG, this is my new favorite. And then Meryl Streep came out, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like the best skit ever.
She was the best.
And she was Kate McKinnon's character's mother. And she got probed just like Kate McKinnon did. And she was smoking a cigarette. And she was, oh my God, it was awesome. Awesome. Can't say enough about that skit. So
the
good.
apple didn't fall far from the tree with those two.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, it was so funny. So funny. Those were my favorite skits of the night for sure. Was Eddie Murphy and the Kate McKinnon, Meryl Streep one.
Well, I liked the Scared Straight skit towards the latter half of it. It was Kenan Thompson and Eddie Murphy, right? Yeah. This was in a prison, and they were to scare these high school kids or teenagers or whatever into what life is like in prison. And then they brought in Big Red. It was Will Ferrell. Now, Kenan and Eddie Murphy have these khaki outfits on.
Like jumpsuits.
You know, like jumpsuit. And Will Ferrell comes in wearing a khaki top shirt and then these horrible, disgusting, like runner shorts. They're still khakis, but you see,
short shorts,
right up,
rolled up.
Oh
short
my
shorts.
gosh, right up to his ass crack.
Quintessential Will, showing off his interesting body.
I don't think we would ever recognize it if he ever got a tan.
No.
He's got that nice pasty white.
Yes. Yes, that is his calling card.
Yeah. And then I really enjoyed the Steve Martin monologue.
That's right.
That
I forgot about that. Well done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Steve Martin, but I think, they did an excellent job writing it, and he did an excellent job performing it. And it was a good start to the show. Yeah.
It really was. I agree. I think Steve Martin did a fantastic job. It was a good choice. Yes, it was good to see Bill Murray again. I adore Bill Murray with a passion. So it was good to see him, although his skit wasn't that great, but it was good seeing him. Miss Dan Aykroyd, though. Very sad that he wasn't on the show.
Yeah, and I looked it up to see what the reason was, and I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, so I think that was a miss with seeing Dan Aykroyd, or Jane Curtin for that matter. But overall, really good. Out there on the Peacock. Enjoy, folks.
Yeah.
And a reminder to our listener that the PWR's 50 contest is underway. And we're looking forward to seeing all your submissions. Remember, you look at Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube for the details. We have promos out there. We talked about it quite a bit in detail in episode 50. So if you need a refresher, go back to episode 50 and listen to that again. We are looking forward to your submissions being sent to us by the deadline on Wednesday, March 12th by 11 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, with the winner to be announced on our 1-year anniversary special on Monday, March 17th, 2025. So good luck to all of you.
Good luck.
We're excited to see what you guys all put together.
Well, good luck, everyone. So let's get back to the show. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program we discuss commercials we have to talk about. And Auntie Joan's got on theme.
Yes. We've got to
today.
We've got to do the SNL commercial parodies.
Yes.
Some of the best.
Indeed.
I'll kick it off
Please.
with one that I've already discussed in a past episode. And it's not really a commercial. It's more of a public service announcement. And it's the one with, drum roll please, Peyton Manning and the United Way.
Yes.
Where he's like a big brother type of thing with the kids' community football team, and throws the ball in one of them and cusses at another and makes one go and sit in the Johnny on the spot thing until he learns his lesson. It was perfect. It was one of the best. One of my favorites.
Nice.
Because you got to have such a weird sense of humor like he does to do something like that. So, yeah. The next one is the Mom Celebrity Translator. And every time I see this one, I think about you and me. And when I'm trying to describe somebody or a show I've seen, like Flowers of the August Moon or whatever that was called. And they show some of the regulars with their supposed mothers, and the mothers are trying to describe somebody like Dirk Dorillo, and it turns out it's Jake Gyllenhaal or something like that. And then the mom translator will show them and pronounce who it really is. And then it also works in reverse, where she'll say into it what she thinks it is, and then it'll translate and tell her what the real name is. Of course, the old from the 70s, I believe it was, the old colon blow fiber commercial.
We agree on this one. With Phil Hartman.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, he ends up sitting on top of the stack of colon blow fiber cereal. And then, of course, they have the super one, which takes him through the roof. So that's another good one. Before we get to the feminine products, there's one more I want to discuss, and that was the GE Big Boy Appliances. I did a Google search on SNL Commercial Parodies, and this one came up. I didn't see this in real time, but it stars, their weekly host was Jason Momoa.
Oh.
And the theme of it is, with women who are working so much, a lot of times the household duties fall on the man of the house. So rather than feeling feminized, they came out with this whole big line of GE Big Boy Appliances. They show like a dishwasher, and it's like a 70-pound door that he's got to pick up and put into place, and then he's got one of those round wheels to lock it in place. And he says, 70 pounds. I want to see my wife do that. And the clothes washer is like 6 feet tall, and you got to be tall to reach up and put the clothes into the wash machine. That was good. Of course, they got the perfect guy to do that.
Of course.
Jason Momoa. And then on to feminine products. The Kotex Classic. Now, this is something that probably you gals in my age range can relate to and remember. It features the old belts that we used to have to wear. And you would wrap up that pad into these little metal hooks and then pull the belt up, and the belt was just, like a piece of elastic, and that would keep it all in place. And it shows Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and them walking around with like hip hugger pants with these Kotex belts sticking out the top of it. Kind of like how the youngsters,
whale tails. Whale tail. That's what thongs. When you can
that's
see
what
the
I was going to
thong,
say.
the
Yeah,
G-string,
it's kind of like that. Yeah, the youngsters would do it with thongs. We would do it with our sanitary belt pads. And of course, another one that's right up there with the rest of with Peyton Annie thing is the Annuel, the product made for women who don't have time. They just don't have time to have a period once a month. So Annuel has it, so you only have it once a year. But when you do, all hell breaks loose. And then it shows. Now, this was a Tina Fey one also. And shows her going crazy with a shovel trying to hit people. And another one of the performers diving into a cake and eating that thing, gobbling it up. So, So those were my 6 top ones.
Nice. The one we had in common was the colon blow, but I also misunderstood. I thought we were picking them out of the link you provided. So I only went by the link you provided. I did not do any additional research. That's okay. I like the ones that were in that, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Love Toilet was my second favorite.
Oh, yes.
His and hers toilet, and you look at each other deeply into your eyes. The toilets are facing each other, so you can look at each other deep in their eyes and caress each other while you're taking a dump. Fantastic. The Canon camera with Stevie Wonder. A camera so simple, even Stevie Wonder could use it. And he's taking pictures. They're all off angle and stuff. He's blind. I mean, makes perfect sense. A Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Maya Rudolph, a couple other gals in there for Mom Jeans.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Mom Jeans commercial, but I think Mom Jeans are comfortable, so that's me. Then the Tylenol BM with Alec Baldwin, where he takes a Tylenol BM at night. And he's so comfortable. He just sleeps right on through his first bowel movement of the day. And his wife wakes up next to him like, "Did you shit the bed?" really funny. And then Bosley, which is harvesting hair from the mezzanine and brought to the head. Absolutely hysterical. Gross pubic hairs on top of their heads. It was awesome. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
The people that come up with those commercials, the writers, I mean, they do such a good job.
I tell you what, so good.
And
so
another
good.
one of the things that they would do that I really like are their Thanksgiving dinner things that they do.
Leslie Jones was my all-time favorite. All-time favorite. That was awesome. I love that so much. So
She's
much.
so good. Yeah,
she is
she's
so good. Sometimes she gets a little too obnoxious for me. I've seen her stand up and I'm not a huge fan. She just gets into that state where she's yelling all the time. Just like, you don't need to do that. Stop doing that. But the Thanksgiving one, my God. One of my all-time favorites.
And they did one with Adele, Hello. Where
Oh, God, I remember that. That was a long time ago. Yeah, it was a Kristen Wiig, right? Kristen Wiig, which is hello. Like everything's okay as long as you sing hello, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, well, it was
all of them. There were a bunch of them.
Yeah. And all, somebody starts saying something racist or...
And I think I saw that before I had ever heard the song.
Really?
I think so. I think that because I was just like, what are they doing? And then I heard the song and I was like, oh, now that's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah, they do good Thanksgiving things. Yeah.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's the Christmas stuff that they do sometimes.
Yes.
If you know what I mean. Sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls. Good times.
Yeah.
Good time.
So, yeah, boy, I had my SNL fix for quite a while.
I tell you, so good though. I'm glad that they're doing a proper job with the 50th year anniversary, in my opinion. I think the special they put together with, the little docuseries and then the special with the new skits and bringing back so many people were in these skits. We'd never be able to list them all. There's so many. And then the concert, it's just so good. Oh, I forgot. Andy Samberg and Lady Gaga sang Dick in a Box.
Oh, yeah.
It's really funny. He's like, what's not appropriate for you? And she's like, let's go. We're doing this. She said something different, but it was basically, basically, I'm not a delicate flower. Let's do this. And they were hysterical. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, props to her.
Everybody in the audience knew Dick in a Box.
That was something that surprised me too, that what's his name wasn't on.
Timberlake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He must have had something else going on because that is bizarre.
His shows were usually pretty good.
Yeah. In the concert, the camera really liked Paul Rudd in the audience. They panned to him a lot. A lot, which is fine. I like Paul Rudd. I didn't have a problem with it. It was just, I kept noting, I'm like, wow, like Paul Rudd's getting a lot of screen time for sitting in an audience and dancing and singing. So I thought that was
one thing I did like about the anniversary special was every time they panned into the audience, I just would want to look and see who's out there.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus she brought her support animal with her and she had a golden retriever. Just hysterical. I mean, I just can't. They're so good.
And on your left, the energy you're feeling is from Adam Driver not wanting to show any interest.
That's right.
Pretending there's no interest or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. And Adam Driver did good with that too.
He did. Yeah. So yeah, lots of good stuff to watch for SNL. All out there on the Peacock. Take your time, savor it, enjoy it. It's good stuff. Good times.
Good times. For sure. Or as somebody we know would say, that's for certain, no hurting.
All righty, Auntie Joan. Anything else for our listener today?
No, I think we've pretty much covered SNL.
I tell you what, there's a lot to talk about over 50 years of SNL.
Yeah.
All right, then. That wraps it for yet another wonderful Pickled Watermelon Rinds episode. This is Auntie signing off.
And Antie Joan saying bye-bye now.
We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.